There have been many times in which fellow Hispanics have turned to me and hurled the phrase, "You're white." This, of course, is just not in reference to my light skin color. From their perspective, I have benefited, personally and economically, within the structure of white society. While I will laughingly deflect these comments, there is a misunderstanding on their part. It is almost a foregone conclusion that individuals that are white do not talk about themselves as white. They are just human beings. So in essence, in their frame of mind, being white and human are the same. In framing white identity, the social theorist Richard Dreier commented that there is no more powerful position than that of being just human. The claim to power is the claim to speak for the commonality of humanity. White people can't do that. They can only speak for their race. The world in which I operate within, I have struggled while moving up in society. Yet the truth of the matter is that I have enjoyed opportunities which have presented themselves. Yet it is important to keep things in perspective. Using the conceptual lens of intersectionality, the variation in social identity and social context that supports individuals like myself that are Hispanics or people of color can, according to Nunez, simultaneously hold marginalized and privileged identities, and that both kinds of identities could be salient in the process of navigating various social contexts and systems of interlocking oppression, such as those of racism and sexism. Within the constructs of intersectionality coined by Kimberly Crenshaw, the interconnected systems in which domination based on race, class, gender, sexual orientation has impacted while affording opportunity for those individuals of color. Hispanics that claim that I am white are generally the same individuals that have encountered hostility and barriers as a result of their name, skin color, socioeconomic status, or language restrictions, just to name a few. This serves as a lens to critique my socioeconomic status and upward mobility. La Familia, representing not only my family members, but all my brothers and sisters that are Hispanics, should understand that I live in two worlds. According to Neil Foley, whiteness is the result of the complex matrix of a nomotype, class position, culture, citizenship status, as well as the willingness of many Anglos to make room for yet another group of off-white Hispanics. Within this structure, Trucillo Haynes suggests Latinos are a force to be reckoned with, and we now require our own room in the Master's house. Yet we must not forget it is the Master's house, and we are constrained by the basic home rule that is white supremacy. While I cannot be mistaken as white within the white community, whether by my race, color, national origin, language, culture, and/or citizenship status, I am more accepted than my darker familia, and definitely my black friends. La Familia sees an individual that is an embodiment of privilege. From the outside, I am an individual born into the middle class. I've had the ability to attend public and private prestigious academic institutions, a homeowner within an affluent community, living within an area that has over 60% white, and is easily classified as a white-collared worker. I must convey that not everything is what it seems. In writing about white privilege, Alan Johnson put forth, whiteness is a privilege in this society, and we have access to that privilege only when people identify people of color as belonging to the category white. Within the culture of whiteness, there is no question that I stand out as a Hispanic. This structure of interest convergence, Dirk Bell notes, that the interests of blacks in achieving racial equality will be accommodated only when it converges with the interest of whites. In essence, I can strive to reach out to achieve the highest degree in education, rise within any field of employment, GQ myself while sporting bow ties, and look as if I belong. But unfortunately, I will be accepted on somebody else's terms. Do I believe that I have been given opportunities in life? Yes and no. Have I served as a token individual, which some were possibly seeking? Yes. In recognizing the challenge token individuals face, Daryl Smith noted that being visible as a representative and invisible as an individual is problematic. Smith suggests that such persons are often heavily scrutinized, and mistakes that might be easily tolerated in others could be viewed as evidence of a fundamental mismatch or incompetence. Of course, opportunities need to be placed in perspective. From the window of my dorm room in college, while seeing individuals that were middle class, I also noticed many individuals that were rich. From a similar perspective, Bell Hooks notes that many of them were not wealthy, just upper class. But from my perspective, since I did not have money to spare, they all seemed to be among the elite and the elect. The challenge within the Hispanic community, or with any other race, is that we must break the cycle of tearing ourselves down in order to move ourselves ahead. Unfortunately, we have become conditioned to destructivism. Many times we forget the words of Matthew 7:1, "Judge not, that you be not judged." People deserve to stand in their own shoes, and the idea of putting down others in order to prop others up or relate a particular behavior or thought to something that's not good should not be accepted. While I have encountered formal and informal discrimination by some members within the white community, the intergroup discrimination is devastating. We should not be comparing ourselves to others within our own group as a means of defending one's own self-concept. A similarity between Hispanics, blacks, and individuals of color is that we share a concept of what W.E.B. Du Bois mentioned in his work, The Soul of Black Folk. That is double consciousness. Du Bois defined the term as the sense of always looking at oneself through the eyes of another, of measuring one's soul by the tape of the world that looks on in amused contempt and pity. For those fellow Hispanics that have cast judgment over me, they should be proud of what I have been able to accomplish. Those individuals that criticize my accomplishments most likely cannot see themselves in me, and that is their own limitation. It is for the unconscious envy and their own self-concept that limits their ability to think beyond who they are. When I see another individual of color in high position, I am proud. These are the individuals I admire. Why? I idolize the projection of these individuals of what I could be, instead of idolizing the projection I will never be. I will never be a white man. If I was, I would idolize my ideal person. But as a Hispanic, my ideal person is another Hispanic or individual of color in high position. This dismisses any notion or idea that I might be white based on the light skin color or truly benefiting within the master's house, because I do not see myself as being white. When looking at my success, some individuals may not understand that it is not solely about privilege. It is about my values and my knowledge that has helped me guide my decisions and my behavior. As Bell Hooks has described, we come to this space through suffering and pain, through struggle. We know struggle to be that which pleasures, delights, and fulfills desire. We are transformed individually, collectively, as well as radically creative spaces which affirms and sustains our subjectivity, which gives us a new location from which to articulate our sense of the world.